All right, what's your name and what are you going to play?
My name is Andy Fusco, and I'm going to play a Strasbourg reel today. Hopefully Susan McLeod and the Gray Bob.
Take one, right?
Take one.
All right, Andy, how do you think it went?
Not bad, not bad. A little bit of finger tightness in the third part of the Strasbourg. Couldn't get those Heba buzz out or whatever. And the reel, I did something. What did I do?
Third part,
Just a little flub in the.
but you maneuvered through it quite masterfully.
Did I? Didn't I?
Yeah.
I guess we'll
Stake
see
like a pro. Just keep on going.
what the judges have to say.
Kept the tempo and the music going.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess they're gonna say take up drums, which I already play, so that's helpful.
Hi, it's Jack Lee up in Vancouver. I just had a chance to watch Andy Fusco play Strasbourg reel, Susan McLeod, and the Gray Bob. So here are a few little thoughts that I had. Very good performance overall on an excellent bagpipe. So I definitely like that, and like the musicality and the pipe. It was really great. A few little technical things. Generally very good playing. I would describe his Hackam movement as too loose. So let me show you what I mean by that. It goes by other names, but to make the Hackam really, really nice, the G and D grace note should be very small, and the two C's should be much larger than the two grace notes. So in slow motion, it would be. So regardless of the speed, the C's are much larger than the grace notes. What Andy was tending to do was to make the grace notes too big. So bad demonstration coming. Here we go. So his Hackams were not nearly as bad as that, I can assure you. I just want to kind of demonstrate that point, that if you make your grace notes too big, make the grace notes too big, there is not enough C coming out. So I would coach him to slow the Hackam down and actually make the C's larger and the grace notes smaller. So right, and that kind of thing. And there were a lot of hackems in this tune, so that is just generally one little tip for him that he could make the hackem tighter with the grace notes, bigger with the Cs. It would improve his Strass Bay playing. The playing was good. I felt it was slightly round, just generally a little bit round, and just a tad going for it, so to speak, and not expressing quite enough. So, some examples of that coming, but at the start of the second part, I felt his E tap was too light. Right there. Okay, so that E tap was in the last part as well. When I said kind of rushing and going for it a bit too much, these last phrases were like that. I would coach him to hold the E, the C doubling, and the low A just a little bit. Rather than kind of charging through there just a tiny bit for me. What I said earlier about the hackems definitely applies in this third part. There's just a wall of hackems and technique early on. In that kind of segment in there to keep it tidy and organized in there. One little technical thing he's doing as well is not always playing the final D of these quick D throws, like right where it goes. Well, you want to make sure that you hear those Ds when you play that. So he was tending to go. Sorry. Kind of straight from low G to high A instead of getting a D in there. Okay, so that would be try not to cut the D throw quite so much and make sure that the D is played. And I mentioned this earlier, but the start of the last part, making sure that these E taps are heavy. So my general thought on tap work, E taps, D tap, B tap, is never be in a rush on a tap. Make the low A or the low G, depending on the tap, really, really audible and make it count. Onto the gray bob, a good break. There was an early slip, but these things tend to happen. But aside from that, it was going fine. I felt rushing just a little bit and a little bit ahead of the beat. So now here, that segment there, the last couple of bars of these parts, he tended to rush through, and definitely on the last burl too early. Right there. Now that's a very hard movement to go from the low G, D grace note to a quick B and onto the burl. All pipers struggle with that one. My coach to myself when I play in that kind of movement is to stop on that low G. Until I get it sort of kind of organized. So we pause on the low G. Okay. Throughout the rest of the reel is quite nice. I thought the low G work was a little bit light. Low G work. So this movement here, that C grip, and in the burl itself, it's clear, but tending to be just a little light. So my advice to Andy would be to try to make, take your time on low G work, taps, grips, burls, furloughs, stuff like that, to make sure that the low G is strong and heard. But aside from those little technical things, it was a nice performance. I enjoyed listening to it.